Bitter criticism. Tonight's victim is some newspaper from. Oh, I didn't. I'm not sure if this newspaper. See if I saved the name of this newspaper from Hainan. Yeah. Well, I forgot to search Leon Trotsky in Russia Today site, but right here tonight we have this Hainan newspaper, which maybe reveals to us some. Today, also I saw the Pepe Escobar show from in TV 247, the TV 24/7, the Brazilian channel, and Pepe Escobar is a really great guy to make this kind of questions that, like, what about Hainan? What about Hainan? Some Brazilian ask him, what about the Ukrainian grains? And Pepe Escobar said that there was a problem with Monsanto, that he said that Ukrainian grain, it was Monsanto grain, and there was a problem with that. I don't know, some kind of intoxication with Monsanto or cancer, and nobody wanted. But I wrote, and yeah, maybe that's real. Maybe Pepe Escobar is just well, Pepe Escobar is a great guy, you know. He's a journalist. He's investigative journalist. He should do this kind of work, this kind of suppositions. But who knows? I just read some episodes ago that this was from maybe Russia Today or CGTN, the Bulgarian agricultures, maybe it was Russia Today. They say that Bulgarians and farmers were broke because of cheap Ukrainian grain. That sounds fair, which sounds eloquent, which sounds straight or possible. So, but anyway, so I asked Pepe Escobar, what about Hainan? And Pepe Escobar then said something about Kazakhstan, that maybe, well, he didn't answer me, but maybe Kazakhstan is better than Hainan, because, and he criticized the China possibility to invade Taiwan. But anyway, right now, tonight we have lots of Hainan news direct from, I don't remember, maybe is the name of the journal is HECN.CN, which I don't know which means. But anyway, there's a kind of local news from Hainan, which have a lot of people. I imagine, I don't know how much people does Hainan have, but I saw some population density map of the world, and Hainan is full dense. Have a lot of density there. So I imagine they maybe have, I don't know, 40 million people, maybe. Who knows? I will check this later. Anyway, we have we're just gonna read the Hainan news from the southeast territory of China, the most tropical one. Hainan Island's newest trending sport. Maybe this journal is bullshit, you know, it's just like a commercial journal, but let's we see. But it's interesting because Hainan, it is a province of China, but it is still ruled by Communist Party. So who knows what is this? Is this journal? Let's take the chance here. This was from March 29. This was 20 days ago. Well, it's a lady journal, isn't it? Many visitors come to China's tropical island Hainan for its blue sky and balmy weather. Balmy, I guess. For you, it's not so terrible, but these motorcycles are, for me, it's terrible. Many visitors come to China's tropical island Hainan for its blue sky and balmy weather. I guess Russia Today never wrote balmy. I don't know what's balmy. I don't know what balmy is. Nowadays, aviation sports have become the newest hot trend in local tourism, and the available games one can play in the blue sky continue to be updated. You know, and this is noisy again, a lot of noise. It's terrible global sound. Well, there's a photo of parachutes, like there's a parachute photo. And to be honest with you, this is a coincidence because I like the squirrel flying like this, with the suit like a squirrel, like that, and you fly like a squirrel. And this the description says tourists try skydiving at Haiteng Bay in Sanya on March 14th. This is from Xinhua again. I don't know what's Xinhua. Fan Yuking Xinhua. Xinhua is an agency, but looks like Xinhua controls all China's. I will check this later. From Xinhua. Once I went to Xinhua site, and it was a normal site. CGTN is more like I don't know nothing about China. Anyway, Hainan has introduced more and more new aviation projects, including helicopter sightseeing, paragliding, skydiving, powered parachuting, small aircraft, and hot air balloons. Well, there's no squirrel flight. I will give this idea to them, which are attracting lots of tourists. Lately, on an average of more than 30 visitors come to skydive every day. That's 30 is very few. I imagine that China is all about millions and millions, millions of people. What happens to Chinese natality, fertility? Explaining Shannon Ming, general manager of Shanya Tahe Stream Sports Club, continuing with the info that the number of skydiving tourists at the club hit a high of 166 in one day during this year's spring festival. According to statistics from the Hainan Aviation Sports Association, companies with a focus on low-altitude travel have been growing fast ever since 2020. Related project with a total investment of CNA, I don't know, CN 200 million are now spread across right of the provinces, cities, and counties with per capita experience and prices. With per capita experience prices between, this is like CN Yang, the Chinese currency, which is, I don't remember, yuan, yeah, the E from yuan. Between C and yuan, 800 and 6,800. Hainan's natural advantage for the development of aviation sports include a pleasantly warm climate and beautiful scenery, with the exception of special circumstances such as typhoons. The local area can have more than 300 days of flying per year. Well, there's typhoons at the Hainan. Have to consider that. I don't know if I want to go to live there no more, because typhoons, I will die. I will check this later on YouTube. Hainan's typhoons. But Hainan, I just waiting for second sun, Chinese second sun. And we have a beautiful photo that could be Rio de Janeiro and paragliding fixed point competition during 2020 Hainan Island Flying Contest. Xu Liwen, General Secretary of Hainan Aviation Sports Association, explained that through various policies such as visa-free entry policy, Hainan will attract more aviation sportsmen, professionals, and related enterprises in the future. Yeah, I totally. But I guess the treat is you have to be a aviation sporter. Yeah, if I win the lottery, I will make myself a flying squirrel, and with the suit, and then I will go to Hainan to take this visa free. Skydiving base in Hainan, Haikou. The Haikou skydiving base is located in Qianshuang district and features a flat terrain and stable weather conditions. There are more than 1,300 flight days per year here, and the novice thrill seeker can experience a safe 3,000-meter flying experience. Well, this is tropical land, you know. Well, I remember the ABBA song, "Tropical Love Land," but unfortunately I didn't download. You can hear me singing that in Álvaro Mangueira Aceroleira, Tropical Loveland. Anyway, address: Skydive Panda, Haikou Base, Jinling, Haikou, Jiaxi Airfield, Qianshan District, Haikou City, Hainan Province. Well, it's organized. You see in the photo of the parachute, aerial photo. You also can see the city, and it looks pretty. It looks beautiful. Looks tropical and well planned. You know how I discover Hainan? Looking the map. Simple like that. Danzhou, located on Haiwa Ocean Flower Island in Danzhou. The Danzhou skydiving base is easily accessible by multiple forms or travel transportation, including expressway and high-speed rail. Danzhou is conveniently close to the provincial capital, Haikou, which travelers can reach via Haikou Meilan International Airport. From here, visitors heading up to the sapphire blue skies can enjoy views of the entire coastline and Haiwa Island. Well, this is all about, this is not journalism, it's like tourism agency. Address: Skydive Wetland, Longang Beach, Haiwa Island, Danzhou City, Hainan Province. Well, I had this feeling about this journal that will be just like that. You know, the text is not so interesting. Well, but we have beautiful photos. This another looks like I don't know, Dubai. Looks like Dubai. Yeah, well, wow. This high altitude, 4,000 and 4,300 meters. Coastal skydiving is second in height to only one other skydiving base in Asia. Skydive Boao offers beautiful scenery and a bird's-eye view of the coastline. Compared with other skydiving bases, which are either over plains or in mountain and lake regions, this place is way more exciting. Address: Skydive Boao Airport, Xintua. Well, this Boao thing looks like Dubai. Dongfang. The Dongfang skydiving base is located in. Well, you know what I don't understand about skydiving is like how to make a base in the air. It's like they are saying base, but the base is like an airport. You know, so there's no real base, but just a point to go and buy some tickets. You know, well, right now there's those kind of tickets, and well, there's just text, and there's no much criticism here. It's just tourism. Dongfang. The Dongfang skydiving base is located in the Yulinsou scenic area and features both sea skydiving and beach landing, as well as the beautiful scenery. The weather conditions are stable with little rain and steady winds, so there is plenty of time for skydiving. Address: Hainan Dongfang skydiving base. You know, I'm not interested in skydiving in Hainan. Well, we have another base by Waning Shenshu Peninsula with more photos. This photo looks pretty a little more chaotic, but the port is awesome. We can see the port here. Port is interesting. And I will skip this news, yeah, because it's too much. And we have the last photo, I guess, is interesting because we have a lot of condos, we have a lot of buildings, maybe Shenzhou Peninsula skydiving base. Well, this is interesting to see the photos. Well, that's it. You want to skydive? I like I prefer the squirrel, as I say it. Anyway, another news from HECN. This is the name of, and we have the name of the journalist, by Nicky Johnson, of course a Western guy. 9th Hainan Wenxiang Nanyang Culture Festival opens April 7th, and is already done because these news are all old. The 9th Hainan Wenxiang Nanyang Culture Festival will be held from April 6th to 8th in the city of Wenxiang, located on the east coast of China's tropical island province of Hainan. The 2-day-long Nanyang Culture Festival will feature a meeting of the International Federation of Hainan Association, a roundtable forum of development of Wenxiang International Aerospace City, one of the 11K industrial parks of the Hainan Free Trade Port, a seaside dinner with musical accompaniment, an overseas Chinese culture photo exhibit, a painting and calligraphy exhibit, many other related activities. In addition, guests will be invited on a tour to investigate investments opportunities in major projects under development in the area. From the late Ming and early Qing dynasty period, 1628 to 1700s, to the 30s and 1930s, many people traveled from Wenshan across Southeast Asia, called Nanyang in Chinese, to seek better living and working opportunities, which is considered one of the three largest population migration in modern Chinese history. I have to understand. Well, this paragraph it was better. From Wenshan across Southeast Asia, called I don't understand the travel. Anyway, through their hard work and intelligence, the migrants from Wenshan were able to earn a good living, and on their return brought back elements of Southeast Asia culture with blended with Wenshan's own culture, becoming deeply embedded in the local way of life. They may be talking about Indonesia. They maybe are talking about Vietnam, I guess. I don't remember. Southeast Asia. Yeah, should be Indonesia. And that's it. So Hainan have a I don't know, Southeast culture, Southeast Asia culture. And well, this was the second paragraph was the best. The last one was, I don't know. And we have a photograph from Hainan Daily, and it's beautiful. Yeah, looks like Indonesia. There's an influence from Indonesia. And the historic Kilu Street in Wenshan displays a profound Southeast Asian cultural influence. Yeah, looks like Indonesia. With like I don't remember the Street Fighter, but this was just a joke. This was Indian. No, India is pretty far, not so far, but Indonesia. Anyway, the Nanyang Culture Festival promotes mutually beneficial cooperation among overseas Hainanese based all around the world in domestic and international trade, tourism, cultural exchange, friendship, and many more areas through the common tie of Nanyang culture, aiding in the development of both the Hainan Free Trade Port and Wenshan International Aerospace City. Well, this newspaper looks like a folder of tourism, and that's fine, you know. They're trying to sell it, and well, they looks like pretty Western. They looks pretty free. Like they looks like they have all these entrepreneur, the private sector entrepreneur. Don't look like government, a communist government. Anyway, on November 12th, 2022, the Changzhou 5 cargo spacecraft lifted off from the Wenshan spacecraft. I guess this spacecraft, this Wenshan spacecraft launch site is like a spacecraft from a launch site. This is because of latitude, because of near to the tropics. It's better to launch. It's better to launch spacecrafts. Wenshan is known as the home of overseas Chinese in Hainan. Currently, there are around 1.2 million people with ancestral ties to Wenshan living in over 50 countries and regions around the world. That's interesting. This is like the Andalusia from Spain. Like everybody goes away from there. There are 50 countries. Well, this is a tropical land with development problems, chronicle developing. Maybe the tropical weather is just bad for work. The city of Wenshan has played host to the Nanyang Culture Festival for 8 consecutive years since the event's inception in 2012, with an influence felt in over 60 countries and regions across the globe. This event has become one of the most distinctive annual festivals held in Wenshan and even in the entire province of Hainan. Hainan, I guess. You can say Hainan if you are American. Well, this is a kind of boring newspaper, because this is just like a folder. Like I said, this is just like publicity. This is not there's any real news here. Like, what's the problem with Taiwan? The other day, I guess some time ago, one of these days, I just read some news from CGTN, and they quoted something about Hainan, and this was more interesting. Like I don't know, like people in Taiwan have strong ties with Hainan, yeah, because of history. That will be more interest. Hainan Li Cultural Exhibition, part of Milan Design Week. Is interesting, but it's strange, because Milan Design is so far away from China, isn't it? By HECN. This is the name of the newspaper. HECN. Hainan Li Cultural Exhibition and exchange activities were held in Milan from April 17 to 23rd at the invitation of the organizers of Milan Design Week in Italy. I guess there's no text here, but just models and clothes. I don't know how to say, but model. We have a Chinese model. Hainan Li Cultural Exhibition and exchange activities were held at the Milan Design Week. Department of Tourism, Culture, Radio, Television, and Exports of Hainan Province. The event showcased China's fascinating traditional culture to the world through Hainan's national intangible cultural heritage, including traditional lace spinning, dyeing, weaving, and embroidery techniques, as well as traditional Li clothing, Li folk song, and Li music performed on bamboo and wooden instruments. Li is like it's not Li like Bruce Lee or Chung Li, is with L-E. And there's an androgynous model. Looks like a man, but yeah, looks like a blonde man with this Li stuff. Looks like very ethnic. Look, the Li culture. I don't know. It's interesting. This have a head, Chinese head. Anyway, Hainan Li cultural exhibition and exchange activities were held at the Milan Design Week, etc. At the event's opening ceremony, Liu Xianglang, a national level representative of Li spinning, dyeing, weaving, and embroidery techniques from Huxiang, Hainan, demonstrated the process of weaving Li brocade on a traditional foot loom. Models wore both traditional and modern, fashionable Li clothing, showing the diversity of Li brocade and the modern vitality of traditional culture. Yeah, this is all these clothes are like ethnic from some places. Yeah, they are not wearing sport clothes. Those nose pipe is the one of the most distinctive Li instruments and is played through the nostrils to produce hauntingly beautiful melodies. Live performance of Li folk songs and dances presented the traditional lifestyles of the Li people, who still practice the wise ancient arts of their people deep in the tropical rainforests of Hainan. I like this rainforest. I want to know more about rainforest and Li people. Yeah, well, they have the job done because I interested on Li people on the rainforest, which is safer than, I don't know, Brazilian Amazonian rainforest, full of mines, full of mining and violence. You can search about Yanomami people in Brazil. It's so sad. It's a drama, you know. It's a social drama. But Hainan people or Li people in Hainan looks fine. They have a fashion week in Milan. Yeah, you know, I went to Brazil. I lived there, and above all, there was I guess it was a negative experience. Anyway, I'll just finish this news. In 2009, the traditional Li textile techniques, including spinning, dyeing, weaving, and embroidering, and embroidering, were included on UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage in urgent need of protection. What happens in Hainan rainforest? Li brocade is not only part of the traditional culture of the Li people, but also one thread of the shining tapestry of the traditional culture of China and the world. Yeah, the only thing is that all these tapestry, all these textiles looks new, looks like it's not traditional, and so there's a problem. Well, I want to see the traditional people, not this remake, you know. We are seeing right here remakes, and nobody knows what Xi Jinping is doing against Li people. Of course, maybe nothing, maybe everything, maybe they are getting educated. Who knows? In recent years, Hainan province has put policies in place to systematically protect and develop the intangible cultural heritage of the Li brocade textile techniques. Many cultural events have also been held in recent years, including the Hainan Intangible Cultural Heritage Shopping Festival, Hainan Brocade and Embroidery World Culture Week, and the Sanya Nanshan Intangible Cultural Heritage Festival. The coming third Hainan Brocade and Embroidery World Culture Week to be held in Haikou from April 27th. May 1st will focus on the traditional techniques of China's intangible cultural heritage, as well as the traditional clothing of ASEAN member countries. And finally, we have a Hainan cultural exhibition and exchange activities in Milan. Oh, this happened in Milan. Well, Milan looks great, and these women singing a flute song, playing the flute or some flute like. They have I don't know how to say. Oh, I forgot the name. This kind of bracelet to the neck. I don't know the name. Just like Filhos de Gandhi, from Salvador, Bahia. It's just like them. It's blue and white. Maybe this is a tropical pattern, isn't it? Well, and finally we have well, these people looks traditional and looks fine. They looks Asiatic, but more colorful. They looks colorful. They looks like Mongolians, like, in my ignorant opinion, of course. They look like Kazakhs, but they are very at the tropical bottom or south. And we have more. Well, they are getting a blast in Milan. And finally, that's it. Well, I prefer the traditional clothes. So we have a remakes here. Urban clothes this is not great, but they are here anyway. And we had a strange news here from. Well, we have a news from Brazil and Hainan. This news. Is more interest to me, isn't it? Maybe they need some Brazilian who don't speak Chinese. You never know. I'm not Brazilian, but I'm trying to speak English here. The depth of Sino-Brazilian ties by China.org.cn. CN looks like China's code, isn't it? Well, this news is from today, April 5th, 2023. Brazil, food and beverage. You know, the best food and beverage from Brazil is cupuaçu. I always say that. Visitors gather at the exhibition stand of Brazilian food and beverage during the 4th China International Import Expo in Shanghai on November 8 in 2021. But this is so, well, this is just the photo. 2021 had nothing to do with Lula. And I don't know. Well, Bolsonaro should let things go with China, isn't it? He just don't do much, please. And they did, and they do not. They didn't. He didn't. Anyway, President of Brazil, Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, concluded his China visit a few days ago. While this was his first China visit during his new presidential term, he had traveled to the Asian country 3 times during his 2 previous administrations, from 2003 until 2011. He paid 2 state visits in 2004 and 2009 respectively, while he also attended the opening ceremony of Beijing Olympic Games in August 2008. This is indicative of the diachronic importance President Lula attached to Sino-Brazilian relations. This indicative of the diachronic importance. Oh, I lost here. I missed the culture here. I missed the understanding. The diachronic importance. Diachronic. Anyway, President Lula attaches to Sino-Brazilian relations, which have thrived in the last 20 years. World Bank data shows that Brazilian exports to China rose from 4.5 billion in 2003 to 63.3 billion in 2019, the year before the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic. In addition, Brazilian imports rose from 2.3 billions in 2003 to 37 billion in 2019. That's a lot. It's like more than 3 times. Yeah, much more. Anyway, yeah, this is huge. During this time frame, China became Brazil's biggest trade partner, beating out close runners United States and Argentina. According to official statistics from Brazil, Brazilian exports, principally soy, ores and oil, amounted to 89.7 billion, while imports were worth 60.7 billion last year. As far as Chinese investment in Brazil are concerned, data showcases the process. A study by the Brazil-China Business Council demonstrated that the annual value of confirmed Chinese investment increased from circa 0.5 billion in 2007 to 7.3 billion in 2019. During this period, its value had been ever higher. For example, in 2010, it reached 30.1 billion, and in 2017, it equated 8.8 billion. The type of investments is multidimensional, covering sectors such as agriculture, electricity generation, information technology, finance, manufacturing, including different products such as machinery and paper, as well as oil and gas extraction and water collection. Although data from 2022 is not yet available, Chinese companies invested 5.9 billion in 2021, an indication of an upward trend after a natural drop in 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm running because I have no time, but this news, I guess I will read this later. Yeah, no, but I guess I'm gonna finish this news. This is great. Against this backdrop, it's unsurprising that Sino-Brazilian ties further improved during President Lula's recent visit. Only a few weeks prior, China had resumed imports of Brazilian beef, on top of a yuan clearing arrangement made by the two sides aimed at boosting trade. Now they are both determined to deepen their comprehensive strategic partnership 30 years after its establishment. The relevant joint declaration outlines aspects of their bilateral cooperation, for example, in digital and technological fields, as well as in the context of climate change. This cooperation will also lead to more efficient coordination of multilateral formats at the UN, the G20 and the BRICS, among others. Synergies in other formats are also possible. A few months ago, President Lula talked about the likelihood of a free trade agreement between China and Mercosur, a union of 4 states made up of Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. At the proposal of Uruguay. Oh, this is a pretty good and large. Maybe I will do history. Even modern history provides the best way to look at the evolution of Sino-Brazilian relations. While much attention was recently paid to a new program of Earth resource satellites, CBERS-6 between the two countries, the first of its kind has already been launched in 1999. Above all, the country's friendship endures and it's outlined at difficult moments. In 2008, Brazil provided timeline relief materials in response to the earthquake that hit areas in Sichuan, a gesture that the Chinese people will not forget. Meanwhile, China donated necessary medical equipment to different Brazilian states during the COVID-19 pandemic. Next year, 2024, marks the 50th anniversary of the establishment of Sino-Brazilian diplomatic relations. The two countries are certainly on a good track to celebrate this anniversary with new bilateral achievements and objectives. There is no better indication that the third state visit of President Lula to China. Yeah, go Lula. I guess I'm going to Hainan. Well, that last news didn't say nothing about Hainan, isn't it? I like it. This Hainan territory is like a tourism. Well, like definitely, if I win lottery here, I will move there and give and bring there the squirrel flying suites. I will make a enterprise like that, just to fly like a squirrel.